Hello, young learners. Hope you all are all fine. Yes, now we're going to see to a beautiful play. It's a play actually, but before that, I would like to ask you a question. Have you heard the word proposal? This word proposal has several meanings. Don't you think so? Yes, let me give you options. The first one is a suggestion, plan for something, for doing something, or an offer for a possible plan or action, or the act of asking someone's hand in marriage. What do you think so? Yes, this proposal is about the act of asking someone's hand in marriage. So it's all about a wedding that we're going to see. It's a Russian wedding, okay? So here the proposal, it's titled a marriage proposal originally, is a one-act play, a farce by the Russian short story writer and dramatist Anton Chekhov. It was written in 1888 to 89. The play is about the tendency of wealthy families, wealthy rich families. They seek ties with the other wealthy families to increase their wealth. These rich people, they want to come together with the other rich wealthy person. So what do is they encourage marriages. So this is the only way that they can become more richer, as well as they increase their estates, their wealth, their property can be increased. So this play is all about that. Ivan Lomo, he is a wealthy neighbor of Stepan Chibuku, who is also wealthy. Ivan comes to seek the hand of Chibuku's 25-year-old daughter, Natalia. And all these three people are very quarrelsome. They quarrel over very petty issues, means very small issues they quarrel over. And let's see what happens. Okay? The characters are Stepan Stepanovich Chibuku, he's the landowner. Natalia is his daughter, who is 25 years old. And Ivan Vasilievich Lomo is the neighbor of Chibuku. He is a very broad-hearted person, but very suspicious landowner. Okay, so these are the characters, and now the drama begins. The curtain rises. Lomo enters. He's wearing a dress, jacket, and white gloves. Chibuku is the house owner, right? So he rises to meet him. And Chibuku is surprised to see him very well dressed. And he asks him the occasion. Lomo, after a small chat, he reveals that he had come to make a request. Chibuku actually mistakes him. He anticipates that he must have come to ask for money, which he doesn't want to give. And then later on, Lomo reveals that he has come to ask for Chibuku's daughter, Natalia's hand in marriage. Chibuku is filled with excitement, and he leaves to call his daughter. Lomo is a 35-year-old gentleman. He's also called Ivan, right? He suffers, from palpitations. Palpitations is actually a noticeably rapid, strong, or irregular heartbeat due to agitation or exertion. Sometimes when they get angry, this palpitation goes up. So this is palpitation. Okay. So he suffers from that palpitations. He gets very upset very easily and doesn't sleep well. And after so many years, after 35 years, he now realizes that it is the best age for him to get married. And he is happy that he has made up his mind about Natalia. He wants to get married to Natalia. According to him, Natalia is an average looking girl, not very pretty. So she also is a good housekeeper. So she will be a good wife, he imagines her to be. So he comes to ask for Natalia's hand. Now, Chibuku is gone to call his daughter Natalia, but before he could call her, Natalia comes and meets Lomo. Lomo begins the conversation about how grateful and how glad that both the families are on good terms. From the very beginning, they were good friends, though they were neighbors. Mostly neighbors are not very good friends, but these neighbors are very good friends from the beginning. So while they were continuing their talk about his land, they somehow, mention about the oxen meadows. Oxen meadows is a land full of grass used for animals to graze in. This oxen meadow was earlier, it was a disputed property. This property, it had some problems between both of them. But now it is whose property? It is Lomo's property, Ivan's property. But Natalia couldn't believe this. When Lomo was talking about this oxen meadows being his property, she could not believe. And she says, no, I cannot believe, and it belongs to my family, she says. Now both of them slowly enter into a strong discussion. They act very childishly. And who enters now? Chibuku enters. Once Chibuku enters, he is being told about this, and he makes even the conversation even more heated. So he worsens the conversation. They shout, they scream, and finally Lomo suffers from this heartbeat, right, palpitations, and because of that, one side of his body starts pulling, and his foot becomes numb. The foot, the pada vandu namittu porudhu, numb. Okay, so they throw Lomo out of the house. They continue to curse him. And as they were talking to each other, the daughter and the father were talking to each other, Chibuku suddenly, like unintentionally, reveals. He now comes out with the truth as to why Lomo came to his house. So he had to tell. Chibuku told Natalia that Lomo had come with a marriage proposal for Natalia. Now Natalia was surprised because she didn't know what actually had happened and why Lomo had come to her house. So now she regrets as to why she sent him out. So she tells her father, come on, bring him back immediately. And Chibuku is really very angry with with his daughter, because she's a grown-up daughter, but she has fought and sent him out, right? So he really feels bad. Now Lomo is brought back. He returns. Natalia now tries to deviate. So deviate to another topic. She starts talking about shooting and that and this. So she tries to come out of that anger. She tries to bring him out of that anger. So as they were talking about this, suddenly there's something else which entered into their conversation. Yes, they were talking about their dogs, their pets. So Lomo's pet's name was Guess, and Natalia's Natalia's dog was Squeezer. Suddenly what happened was Natalia she felt that Squeezer was better than Lomo's Guess. Will Lomo keep quiet? Again the argument begins. And who comes in now? Enters Chibuku, the father of Natalia. He comes into the scene. And he is a person who makes the scene always worse. So they were already into an argument, and he makes the situation even more worse. Once again, what happened? They become hyper and they talk to each other, they curse each other, then the conversation gets heated up, and finally, what happened? Lomo falls down because he has this palpitations, right? So if he gets too angry, his heartbeat keeps beating very fast and he fell. Even then, the cursing and things continue in Natalia's house. Suddenly, Natalia noticed that he was unconscious. So what they do was, they gave him water to drink, but they were not successful in making him drink water because it didn't enter his throat, and they declared that he is dead. After some time, Lomo moves a little bit. So they give him some water, and Chibuku, he doesn't want to wait anymore. He just forcefully, he pulls his daughter's hand and gives it over to Lomo. And he says, I'm going to bless both of you, you get married, and he asks them to kiss each other. So Lomo was still unconscious, and then he did not know what was going on, and finally he comes to his senses, and he is so excited, and he kisses Natalia's hands, and Natalia was very childish as she manipulates him into accepting that squeezer is better than guess. But Lomo is very adamant, right? So he refuses again. Once again, what happens? The quarreling continues. So the quarrel, that quarrel or the fight has not ended. It still continues. Okay? I think you have understood the story. Now I'm going to read the dialogues. I'm going to give you the dialogues, and you can enjoy the dialogues and understand it even better.
My dear fellow, whom do I see? Ivan? I'm extremely glad. Now this is a surprise. My darling, how are you?
Thank you. And how may you be getting on?
We just get along somehow, my angel. Thanks to your prayers and so on. Sit down, please do. Now you shouldn't forget all about your neighbors, my darling. My dear fellow, why are you so formal in your get-up? Evening dress, gloves and so on. Can you be going anywhere, my treasure?
No, I've come only to see you, honored Stepanovich.
Then why are you in evening dress, my precious? As if you're paying a New Year's Eve visit?
Well, you see, it's like this. I've come to you, honored Stepan, to trouble you with a request. Not once or twice have I already had the privilege of applying to you for help, and you have always, so to speak, I must ask your pardon. I'm getting excited. I shall drink some water, honored Stepan.
He's come to borrow money. Shan't give him any. What is it, my beauty?
You see, honored Stepanich, I beg pardon, Stepan Honorich. I'm awfully excited. As you will please notice, in short, you alone can help me. Though I don't deserve it, of course, and haven't any right to count on your assistance.
Oh, don't go round and round it, darling. Spit it out. Well,
One moment, this very minute. The fact is, I've come to ask the hand of your daughter, Natalia Stepanovna, in marriage.
Now let's see to the hard words and its meanings in page 144. Okay? The first one is farce, that is a comic dramatic work. Then comes privilege. Privilege is advantage. Shan't. Shan't means the short form of shall not. Pardon is excuse. Awfully, extremely. Assistance is helping someone. Spit it out. Spit it out is speak out. Yes.
By Jove, Ivan, say it again. I didn't hear it all.
I have the honor to ask.
My dear fellow, I'm so glad and so on. Yes, indeed, and all that sort of thing. I've been hoping for it for a long time. It's been my continual desire, and I've always loved you, my angel, as if you were my own son. May God give you both His help and His love, and so on, and so much hope. What am I behaving in this idiotic way for? I'm off my balance with joy. Absolutely off my balance. Oh, with all my soul. I'll go and call Natasha and all that.
Honored Stepanovich, do you think I may count on her consent?
Why, of course, my darling. And as if she won't consent. She's in love. Egad. She's like a lovesick cat and so on. Shan't be long.
It's cold. I'm trembling all over, just as if I'd got an examination before me. The great thing is, I must have my mind made up. If I give myself time to think, to hesitate, to talk a lot, to look for an ideal or for real love, then I'll never get married. Brr, it's cold. Natalia is an excellent housekeeper, not bad looking, well educated. What more do I want? But I'm getting a noise in my ears from excitement. And it's impossible for me not to marry. In the first place, I'm already 35, a critical age, so to speak. In the second place, I ought to lead a quiet and regular life. I suffer from palpitations. I'm excitable and always getting awfully upset. At this very moment, my lips are trembling and there's a twitch in my right eyebrow. But the very worst of all is the way I sleep. I no longer get into bed and begin to go off. When suddenly something in my left side gives a pull, and I can feel it in my shoulder and head. I jump up like a lunatic, walk about a bit, and lie down again. But as soon as I begin to get off to sleep, there's another pull. And this may happen 20 times. Yes.
Natalia enters. Well, there, it's you. And Papa said, go, there's a merchant come for his goods. How do you do, Ivan?
How do you do, honored Natalia?
You must excuse my apron and negligee. We're shelling peas for drying. Why haven't you been here for such a long time? Sit down, sit down. Won't you have some lunch?
No, thank you. I've had some already.
Smoke. Here are the matches. The weather is splendid now. But yesterday it was so wet that the workmen didn't do anything all day. How much hay have you stacked? Just think, I felt greedy and I had a whole field cut. And now I'm not at all pleased because I'm afraid my hay may rot. I ought to have waited a bit. But what's this? Why, you're in evening dress. Well, I never. Are you going to a ball or what? Though I must say you look better. Tell me, why you got up like that?
You see, honored Natalia, The fact is, I've made up my mind to ask you to hear me out. Of course, you'll be surprised and perhaps even angry. But it's awfully cold, right?
What's the matter? Well,
I shall try to be brief. You must know, honored Natalia, that I have long since my childhood, in fact, had the privilege of knowing your family. My late aunt and her husband, from whom, as you know, I inherited my land, always had the greatest respect for your father and your late mother. The Lomos and the Chibukus have always had the most friendly and I might almost say the most affectionate regard for each other. And as you know, my land is a near neighbor of yours. You will remember that my oxen meadows touch your birch woods.
excuse my interrupting you. You say my oxen meadows? But are they yours?
Yes, mine.
What are you talking about? Oxen meadows are ours, not yours.
No, mine, honored Natalia.
Well, I never knew that before. How do you make that out?
How? I'm speaking of those oxen meadows which are wedged in between your birch woods and the burnt marsh.
Yes, they are ours.
No, you're mistaken, honored Natalia. They are mine.
Just think, Ivan, how long have they been yours?
How long? As long as I can remember.
Really? You won't get me to believe that?
But you can see from the documents, honored Natalia, Oxen Meadows, it's true, were once the subject of dispute, but now everybody knows that they are mine. There's nothing to argue about. You see, my aunt's grandmother gave the free use of these meadows in perpetuity to the peasants of your father's grandfather, in return for which they were to make bricks for her. The peasants belonging to your father's grandfather had the free use of the meadows for 40 years and had got into the habit of regarding them as their own. When it happened that
No, it isn't at all like that. Both grandfather and great grandfather reckoned that their land extended to burnt marsh, which means that oxen meadows were ours. I don't see what there is to argue about. It's simply silly.
I'll show you the documents, Natalia.
You're simply joking or making fun of me. What a surprise! We've had that land for nearly 300 years and then we're suddenly told that it isn't ours? Ivan? I can hardly believe my own ears. These meadows aren't worth much to me. They only come to 5 dесятins and are worth perhaps 300 rubles. But I can't stand unfairness. Say what you will. I can't stand unfairness.
Hear me out, I implore you. The peasants of your father's grandfather, as I have already had the honor of explaining to you, used to bake bricks for my aunt's grandmother. Now, my aunt's grandmother, wishing to make them a pleasant.
I can't make head or tail of all that about aunts and grandfathers and grandmothers. The meadows are ours. That's all.
Mine.
Ours? You can go on proving it for 2 days on end. You can go and put on 15 dress jackets. But I tell you, they are ours, ours, ours. I don't want anything of yours and I don't want to give anything of mine. So there.
Natalia, I don't want the meadows, but I'm acting on principle. If you like, I'll make you a present of them.
I can make you a present of them myself because they are mine. Your behavior, Ivan, is strange to say the least. Up to this, we have always thought of you as a good neighbor, a friend. Last year, we lent you our threshing machine, although on that account, we had to put off our own threshing till November. But you behaved to us as if we were gypsies, giving me my own land? Indeed. No, really, that's not at all neighborly. In my opinion, it's even impudent, if you want to know.
Then you make out that I'm a land grabber. Madam, never in my life have I grabbed anybody else's land, and I shan't allow anybody to accuse me of having done so. Oxen Meadows are mine.
It's not true. They are ours.
Mine.
It's not true. I'll prove it. I'll send my movers out to the meadows this very day.
What?
My movers will be there this very day.
I'll give it to them in the neck.
You dare?
Oxen Meadows are mine. You understand? Mine.
Please don't shout. You can shout yourself, host in your own house. But here, I must ask you to restrain yourself.
If it wasn't, madam, for this awful, excruciating palpitation, if my whole inside wasn't upset, I'd talk to you in a different way. Oxen Meadows are mine.
Ours.
Mine.
Ours.
Mine.
What's the matter? What are you shouting for?
Papa, please tell this gentleman who owns Oxen Meadows, we or he?
Darling, the meadows are ours.
But please, Stephen, how can they be yours? Do be a reasonable man. My aunt's grandfather gave the meadows for the temporary and free use of your grandfather's peasants. The peasants used the land for 40 years and got accustomed to it as if it was their own. When it happened that?
Excuse me, my precious. You forgot just this, that the peasants didn't pay your grandmother and all that because the meadows were in dispute and so on. And now everybody knows that they're ours. It means that you haven't seen the plan.
I'll prove to you that they're mine.
You won't prove it, my darling.
I shall.
Dear one, why yell like that? You won't prove anything just by yelling. I don't want anything of yours and don't intend to give up what I have. Why should I? And you know, my beloved, that if you propose to go on arguing about it, I'd much sooner give up the meadows to the peasants than to you. There.
I don't understand. How have you the right to give away somebody else's property?
You may take it that I know whether I have the right or not, because, young man, I am not used to being spoken to in that tone of voice and so on. I, young man, am twice your age and ask you to speak to me without agitating yourself and all that.
Oh, you just think I'm a fool and want to have me on? You call my land yours, and then you want me to talk to you calmly and politely. Good neighbors don't behave like that, Stephen. You're not a good neighbor. You're a grabber.
What's that? What did you say?
Papa, send the movers out to the meadow at once.
What did you say, sir?
Oxen Meadows are ours, and I shan't give them up. Shan't give them up. Shan't give them up.
We'll see. I'll have the matter taken to court and then I'll show you.
To court? You can take it to court and all that. You can. I know you. You're just on the lookout for a chance to go to court and all that. You petty fogger. All your people were like that. All of them.
Never mind about my people. The Lomos have all been honorable people, and not one has ever been tried for embezzlement like your grandfather.
You Lumos have had lunacy in your family. All of you.
All.
Your grandfather was a drunkard, and your younger aunt, Nastasia, ran away with an architect, and so on.
Your mother was humpbacked. Something's pulling in my side, my head. Help! Water!
Your father was a guzzling gambler.
And there haven't been many backbiters to equal your aunt.
My left foot has gone to sleep. You're an intriguer. Oh, my heart. And it's an open secret that before the last elections, I can see stars. Where's my hat?
It's low, it's dishonest, it's mean.
And you're just a malicious, double-faced intriguer. Yes.
Here's my hat. My heart. Which way? Where's the door? Oh, I think I'm dying. My foot's quite numb.
And don't set foot in my house again.
Take it to court, we'll see.
Devil, take him.
What a rascal! What trust can one have in one's neighbors after that?
The villain, the scarecrow.
The monster. First he takes our land and then he has the impudence to abuse us.
And that blind hen, yes, that turnip ghost, has the confounded cheek to make a proposal and so on. What a proposal!
What? Proposal?
Why, he came here to propose to you.
To propose? To me? Why didn't you tell me so before?
So he dresses up in evening clothes, the stuffed sausage, the wizen-faced frump.
To propose to me? Ah, bring him back! Ah, bring him here!
Bring whom here?
Quick! I'm ill, fetch him!
What's that? What's the matter with you? Oh, unhappy man that I am. I'll shoot myself. I'll hang myself. We've done for her.
I'm dying, fetch him!
Toof, at once. Don't yell.
What have they done to me? Fetch him back, fetch him!
He's coming and so on. Devil, take him. Oof. Talk to him yourself. I don't want to.
Fetch him!
He's coming, I tell you. Oh, what a burden. Lord, to be the father of a grown-up daughter. I'll cut my throat. I will. Indeed, we cursed him, abused him, drove him out, and it's all you. You.
No, it was you.
I tell you, it's not my fault. Now you talk to him yourself.
My heart's palpitating awfully. My foot's gone to sleep. There's something that keeps pulling in my side.
Forgive us, Ivan. We were all a little heated. I remember now. Oxen Meadows really are yours.
My heart's beating awfully. My meadows? My eyebrows are both twitching.
The meadows are yours. Yes, yours. Do sit down. We were wrong.
I did it on principle. My land is worth little to me. But the principle?
Yes, the principle. Just so. Now let's talk of something else.
The more so, as I have evidence, my aunt's grandmother gave the land to your father's grandfather's peasants.
Yes, let that pass. I wish I knew how to get him started. Are you going to start shooting soon?
I'm thinking of having a go at the black cock, honored Natalia, after the harvest. Oh, have you heard? Just think what a misfortune I've had. My dog Guess, who you know, has gone lame.
Oh, what a pity. Why?
I don't know. Must have got his leg twisted or bitten by some other dog, huh? My very best dog, to say nothing of the expense. I gave Mironov 125 rubles for him.
It was too much, Ivan.
I think it was very cheap. He's a first rate dog.
Papa gave 85 rubles for his squeezer, and squeezer is heaps better than Guess.
Squeezer better than Guess? What an idea! Squeezer better than Guess.
Of course, he's better. Of course, Squeezer is young. He may develop a bit, but on points and pedigree, he's better than anything that even Volcanite Sky has got.
Excuse me, Natalia, but you forgot that he is overshot, and an overshot always means the dog is a bad hunter.
Overshot, is he? The first time I hear it.
I assure you that his lower jaw is shorter than the upper.
Have you measured?
Yes, he's all right at following, of course. But if you want to get hold of anything,
In the first place, our squeezer is a thoroughbred animal, the son of harness and chisels, while there's no getting at the pedigree of your dog at all. He's old and as ugly as a worn out cab horse.
he is old. But I won't take 5 squeezers for him. Why? How can you? Guess is a dog as for squeezer. Well, it's too funny to argue. Anybody you like has a dog as good as squeezer. You may find them under every bush almost. 25 rubles would be a handsome price to pay for him.
There's some demon of contradiction in you today, Ivan. First, you pretend that the meadows are yours. Now, the guess is better than squeezer. I don't like people who don't say what they mean because you know perfectly well that squeezer is 100 times better than your silly guess. Why do you want to say he isn't?
I see, Natalia, that you consider me either blind or a fool. You must realize that squeezer is overshot.
It's not true.
He is.
It's not true.
Why shout, madam?
Why talk rot? It's awful. It's time your guess was shot and you compare him with Squeezer.
Excuse me, I cannot continue this discussion. My heart is palpitating.
I've noticed that these hunters argue most who know least.
Madam, please be silent. My heart is going to pieces. Shut up.
I shan't. Shut up until you acknowledge that Squeezer is 100 times better than your guess.
100 times worse? Be hanged to your squeezer. His head, eyes, shoulders.
There's no need to hang your silly guess. He's half dead already.
Shut up. My heart's bursting.
I shan't shut up.
What's the matter now?
Papa, tell us truly, which is the better dog, our squeezer or his guess?
Step in. I implore you to tell me just one thing. Is your squeezer overshot or not? Yes or no?
And suppose he is? What does it matter? He's the best dog in this district for all that and so on.
But isn't my guess better? Really now?
Don't excite yourself, my precious one. Allow me. Your guess certainly has his good points. He's purebred, firm on his feet, has well sprung ribs and all that. But my dear man, if you want to know the truth, that dog has two defects. He's old and he's short in the muzzle.
Excuse me, my heart. Let's take the facts. You will remember that on the Meru-Sinsky hunt, my guest ran neck to neck with the Count's dog, while your squeezer was left a whole worst behind?
He got left behind because the Count's whipper in hit him with his whip.
And with good reason. The dogs are running after a fox when Squeezer goes and starts worrying a sheep.
It's not true, my dear fellow. I'm very liable to lose my temper, and so, just because of that, let's stop arguing. You started because everybody is always jealous of everybody else's dogs. Yes, we are all like that. You too, sir, aren't blameless. You no sooner begin with this, that the other, and all that. I remember everything.
I remember too.
I remember too. What do you remember?
My heart, my foot's gone to sleep. I can't.
My heart, what sort of a hunter are you? You ought to go and lie on the kitchen oven and catch black beetles, not go after foxes, my heart.
Yes, really. What sort of a hunter are you anyway? You ought to sit at home with your palpitations and not go tracking animals. You could go hunting, but you only go to argue with people and interfere with their dogs and so on. Let's change the subject in case I lose my temper. You're not a hunter at all anyway.
Are you a hunter? You only go hunting to get in with the Count and to intrigue. Oh, my heart, you're an intriguer. What? I'm an intriguer? Shut up. Intriguer.
Boy, pup.
Old rat.
Shut up. Or I'll shoot you like a partridge, you fool.
Everybody knows that. Oh, my heart, your late wife used to beat you. My feet, temples, sharps. I fall, I fall.
And you're under the slipper of your housekeeper.
There, my heart's burst. My shoulders come off. Where is my shoulder? I die. A doctor. Boy, milk sock full. I'm sick. Sick.
What sort of a hunter are you? You can't even sit on a horse? Papa, what's the matter with him? Papa, look! Papa! Ivan! He's dead!
He's dead. Ivan, what have you done to me? He's dead. A doctor.
Oh, what is it? What's the matter?
He's dead. Dead.
Who's dead? So he is. My word, water, a doctor, drink this. No, he doesn't drink. It means he's dead and all that. I'm the most unhappy of men. Why don't I put a bullet into my brain? Why haven't I cut my throat yet? What am I waiting for? Give me a knife. Give me a pistol. He seems to be coming round. Drink some water. That's right.
I see stars. Mist, where am I?
Hurry up and get married. And well, to the devil with you. She's willing. She's willing and all that. I give you my blessing and so on. Only leave me in peace.
Yeah. What? To whom?
She's willing. Well, kiss and be damned to you.
He's alive. Yes, I'm willing.
Kiss each other.
Hey, kiss whom? Very nice too. Excuse me. What's it all about? Oh, now I understand. My heart stars. I'm happy, Natalia. My foot's gone to sleep.
I am happy too.
What a weight off my shoulders. Oof.
But still, you will admit now that guess is worse than squeezer.
Better.
Worse.
Well, that's a way to start your family bliss.
Have some champagne.
He's better.
Worse, worse, worse.
Champagne, champagne.
Yes, children, I hope you all enjoyed the dialogues, right? So I just wanted to give a reading. The whole chapter is a play, right? So dialogues are given, and I have read the dialogues. Without the meanings, there are so many hard words given, and its meanings you don't know. So I've given you the meanings here. So once you know the meanings, it will be even more easier for you, right? See, the first one is idiotic. Idiotic is very stupid or silly, you can say. Consent, agreement to do something. Egged, it's an exclamation. You express a surprise or an anger, anything. Love sick is longing. Okay? Love sick is what? Longing. Okay. Housekeeper, a person who manages a household. Who's called a housekeeper? He says that Natalia is a good housekeeper, isn't it? Palpitations. Who's got this palpitations? Palpitations is irregular heartbeat. And this is due to anger or agitation and exertion, too much of work. Okay? So, who's got this palpitation problem? Yes, Lomo has got it. And then comes twitch. Twitch is a sudden, quick movement or feeling. Then comes lunatic. Lunatic is a person who is mentally ill. Negligee. Negligee is like a nightgown, a nightie you can say. Okay, the ladies wear, no? So it's a nightgown. Oxen meadows. Oxen meadows, a land full of grass for animals to graze in. Birchwood. They're fighting over this only, oxen meadows, right? Okay. Birchwoods is a wood of birch trees. Means a forest of birch trees. Perpetuity. Perpetuity means a state or quality of lasting forever. Then comes reckoned. Reckoned means established by calculation. Implore. Beg someone earnestly to do something, asking for help. Gypsies is a group of these nomadic people who travel from one place to another. Gypsies, yes. And then comes impudent. Impudent is not showing due respect for another person, not showing respect at all. And then comes excruciating, that is intense pain, very painful. Palpitation is again heartbeat, you know, right? Okay. An irregular heartbeat. Pettifogger, an inferior legal practitioner, especially one who deals with these petty cases, very small cases, lawyers, no? He's a pettifogger. And then comes embezzlement. Embezzlement is theft. Then lunacy, it's the state of being a lunatic. Hump is, an abnormal growth at the back of a person. Have you all seen children like a hunchback, you can say? Yes, that's hump. Then comes guzzling. Guzzling is being greedy. Gambler is a person who gambles. Intriguer, it's called. Intriguer is someone who tricks, who cheats. Malicious, you really want to harm somebody, intended to do harm. Then comes numb. Numb means namathu pordu, deprived of the power of physical sensation. I think you all understood, and I have given you the meanings of all the words, all the hard words. Okay, thank you very much, children.